Get busy living or get busy dying. Some words of wisdom from the Shawshank Redemption, which I'll be reviewing today. This is an Academy Award nominated film for Best Picture of the year being 1994. It did not win. It lost to Forrest Gump. That was the big winner of the year. But, if things might have turned out a little bit differently, I'd say it's a very high possibility it probably would have lost to Pulp Fiction. So maybe not the biggest Oscar winner. In fact, it was nominated for a whole bunch of other awards, including director Frank Darabont, best lead actor in the wonderful, the great, the legendary, amazing Morgan Freeman. Plenty of others, but it won no awards. Zip, zero, nada, bupkis, nothing. But I think history and time has told a different story about how well regarded this movie is. Because of course the Academy Awards, they're a cool thing, they're a nice thing, and for whatever reason, whether it's just the longevity of the awards itself, or the fact that it's a lot of people within the industry, certain guilds all kind of getting together and voting and honoring movies, patting themselves on the back. It's a highly regarded award, the biggest award you can bestow upon a movie, but at the same time, of course, there is a website, I'm sure you've heard of it, called the Internet Movie Database, where it's a popular site. You can look up anything about a movie, pretty much, and also users can sign up. They can vote for movies, give them ratings out of 10, and there is a top 250 list, and at the very top of that list is the Shawshank Redemption. So I think that's a pretty big distinction, So for whatever reason, all these people over time, they've all come together from different ages, male, female, black, white, all over the world. They've voted for the Shawshank Redemption as the best movie. So I think that's a really high honor, arguably higher than, anything within the industry could bestow upon a movie, because this is from people who watch movies, who like movies, who are fans of movies. That's it. So I think that says a lot. So I think that is a high honor, and while I really love this movie, I really do, but I probably wouldn't put it among my top 10 or 20 or whatever favorite movies, but I undeniably I think it is a great movie. But I've always found that interesting, and it always kind of made me think about exactly why, why people kind of decided on this movie. Because, when we think about movies in general as a whole, we kind of think, okay, well, will we go to a movie to get entertained, or to go on some great adventure, maybe see a great romance, or have a few laughs, or things like that. But this movie, it's definitely... It's a prison movie, so it's definitely not going on a great adventure to a place that we'd want to see. It's definitely a place that most good, honest people would want to avoid. But then again, we have such a character in this movie, and the story, of course, it's about Andy Dufresne and Red. And their friendship over the years in the Shawshank prison, and what kind of sets these two characters apart from all the other prisoners. Of course, the saying goes, every man's innocent in Shawshank, but with Andy, he's the only one who really is innocent to his crimes, and Red's the only one who admits to being guilty. So that's kind of the distinction between the two there, and when I first saw the movie, that was kind of something that came across my mind. At the beginning, it sets it up it seems like it's pretty obvious that he ended up, killing his wife and her lover. But as we learn throughout the movie, he did not. He is innocent. So I think kind of putting your faith or lack thereof in that character says a lot about yourself when going into it. So I think that kind of brings a lot to the story, and the movie as a whole, it is about, I guess it is accessible in a way that it touches on very universal things. It is about life and hope and patience in life, and trying to achieve what you want to achieve, and whether that is out in the world, out in complete freedom, or it is confined in bars. So I mean, it makes that kind of distinction, makes that kind of difference, and like unlike most like prison movies, of course, there's a lot of prison movies, a lot of prison escape movies. This is a prison escape movie, but the escape is excruciatingly long in its planning. But it also touches upon kind of the spell that takes over people, where that that prison, that world, it's the only world they know. So the outside is kind of scary, I would say. So I think that was kind of an interesting aspect to the movie, because you don't see that too much. You know, prisons like get the fuck out of there. You know, here it's something that they become so accustomed to. So like I would almost compare it in a way. Something I talked about a couple of years ago on my channel about. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, how you could almost see the whole world is this insane asylum, and we're all struggling in the same ways that these characters are, and I would say that's the same of Shawshank Redemption and the Shawshank Prison. So the whole world can be a prison. It's just a matter of perspective. So I think it hits those universal notes, and I think that's part of the reason why the movie is as moving as it is, because it is an involving film. It's a movie that really draws you in, that you almost forget that you're watching a movie. It's a very satisfying and well told story. It flows through you. You feel like like death and rebirth through this movie. So it is a unique experience, and it really sucks you in, and it fills you with the same kind of hopes that the characters experience. And I think that's the end. I was watching again, and I was so moved by the ending, and how satisfying it was, and how the characters really really fucking earned where they found themselves at the end. And Red's great speech, I hope to see my friend again. I hope I reach the border without problem. I hope the Atlantic is as blue as it's been in my dreams. I hope. Last words, I hope. And I think that's something I hold on to with this movie. So it is a beautiful movie, a beautifully told story, with great performances. I mean, I wouldn't say Tim Robbins is like my favorite actor ever, but he hasn't been in that much. At least comparatively, like big actor, like comparing to Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman's in fucking everything. Tim Robbins not so much, but this is an excellent performance from Robbins, where he has to exactly the way kind of the prisoners see him is kind of the way we see him. We have that initial doubt about him. We're not quite sure what to think about him, but he kind of shows his leadership in the way he's able to win us over. And with Morgan Freeman, I mean, the guy's voice is like silky sunset. I don't even know if that doesn't even make any sense, but his voice is wonderful and beautiful, and the narration in the movie is great, and it's such a well told story, and such great acting from these two great guys. And even I'll say, kind of the unsung hero of the movie, Clancy fucking Brown, playing that douchebag guard. So great in the movie. He's great. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit for his role here. And this would be further proof of how great of a writer Stephen King is. Of course, obviously this isn't a horror story, but obviously Stephen King understands a lot about human nature, human emotions, human stories, which we get perfectly here, which we got perfectly in Stand By Me, The Green Mile. So I mean, this in this type of story, the fact that it's as popular as is popular in dozens upon dozens of great horror stories that he's done, I think that says a lot too. So while I wouldn't categorize it in my personal favorite movies, undeniably this is a great film. I love it. The Shawshank Redemption. If you haven't seen this movie, boy, where have you been? Definitely check it out. But that's my review. If you'd like to give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Visit Derek237.com. And until next time later, I'll see you until next time. Later.